Hi, you're listening to Kate Palmer from sparkletart.com. Today I'm going to be showing you a journal page created with the new fireworks sprays from Tsukineko. Now I haven't gone over to the dark side. These fireworks sprays are actually quite different to any other product on the market. They're a lot like spraying a luminaire paint. So they're not really like the Glimmer Mist or the Starburst sprays, which everybody knows I love. These are different. Now, these are water-based and they are in 24 colours which complement the Memento ink pads. They're quick drying, and I have tested this, and yes, they are. And they're in little bottles, so they're in a 0.5 fluid ounce or 15 ml. For this page, I'm working in my Fiorentina journal, and I'll be using a selection of the new fireworks sprays. These bottles are a lot smaller than I was expecting. They're only 0.5 fluid ounces or 15 ml. I'd prefer the bottles are about twice this size. Maybe one day I'll get my wish. Starting with Lulu Lavender. The first time you spray these, you'll need to pump the little spray cap a couple of times just to make sure that you get ink flowing through. Depending on how you're holding the bottle and moving your hand as you spray, you'll get a variety of patterns. As you can see, if you spray up close, you'll get more of a circular look. Further away, more of a mist. Sweet Plum. As with any paint that contains suspended particles, it's best to give these a good shake before you start. And Lilac Posies. This one's spraying in all directions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's interesting. I'm having a little chuckle here because I don't think any of these actual bottles, I don't think any of them spray in the same direction. They each are very unique and very individual. Now you can see they're not bleeding through onto the back of the paper yet. I've done this just to soften a few of those spots. Next I'm going to add a little bit of the Dandelion. Again, this one's sort of spraying in all directions. Now for a bit of interest, I'm going to add some of the Goosebumps texture spray. It's actually recommended for use with these products, so we'll see how it goes. Technically, you're supposed to wait for this product to dry before spraying over the top. I thought I'd see what happens if you don't. The next colour I'm going to add is a little bit of Paris Dusk. And just for giggles, a bit of Tuxedo Black. Now that's really muted the other colours, so I'm going to add a bit more of the Lilac Posies. Spray on a little more of each of the colours until you're happy with the coverage on the page. I'm just going to sop up a little of that spraying needle. Alright, so the colours in general are quite metallic looking, sort of satiny. Doesn't look like a dye colour with sparkles like the Starbursts. They actually seem to be drying more like a satiny finish or a metallic finish, kind of like metallic blue paint, metallic pink paint, metallic gold paint. So it's quite an interesting difference. I've chosen to dry mine with the heat gun, mostly because I'm impatient. The fireworks sprays, I suppose as their name says, spray in all directions. That's both one of my favourite and least favourite things about them. In spraying in all different directions, you need to be really careful to keep your craft desk clean, unlike me. But on the other hand, the positive of that is that you get really interesting patterns and effects. They definitely have more of a satin texture or a metallic texture to them. So you can still see all of the individual colours where they were sprayed, but you're also getting new patterns where they sort of semi-blended together. So overall for me this was a very successful test. I really do like the effect of the fireworks, which obviously are quite a different product, and this has made a really interesting background. I'd say that the fireworks sprays from Tsukineko are really interesting and worth a look, as long as you're expecting them to spray in different directions, so make sure that you've got everything else cleaned off your work desk and perhaps wear an apron. These performed beautifully on journal paper, and if they're performing well in here, I think we can safely say that they'd perform quite similarly on normal cardstock. The biggest minus for me is that they're a bit small. I'd have preferred to see these at twice the size, even if they were twice the price. I thought you might like a peek at my finished journal page. These sprays are listed as water-based on the bottle, but they react quite differently to most of the other water-based sprays that I've used. Like the other sprays, you still do get blending and mixing, but they seem to sit on the paper a little bit, they're a bit more raised, they're more on the surface of the paper rather than sinking in, and they also have much more retention of their patterns. So if you can see a pattern while it's wet, you will often see the pattern when it's dry. So for example, down here is a really good example of what I'm talking about. So you've got this pattern of sprays here. That was what it looked like when it was wet, and it also is what it looks like when it's dry. Now I absolutely love the colours on this, so I've just finished it really simply by giving it a border and using one of my beloved rub-ons in the middle here. And I really do think this is beautiful, and so it's earned its name. Now just to show you nice and close. So I've just written something around as border. And you've got that wonderful vibrant colour. Now it's not going to replace my amazing starbursts, of course, but this will be another weapon in my colour arsenal. See how you sort of get that retention of the patterns there? Very interesting. Very interesting. So it makes a lovely background, and as you can see, it took both the black pen and the rub-on quite well, and I didn't need to do anything special. It's not shimmery at all. It's not a shimmery kind of product. It's more of a satin sort of finish. It's really quite lovely, and I'm really quite enjoying working with these. Thanks so much for watching, and have a wonderful day. Bye.